A lack of boundaries can do some serious damage to the relationship. If you don't address them clearly, you might get tangled up in a relationship where your needs are ignored or neglected, which can leave you feeling hurt, disappointed, and resentful. On the other hand, boundaries can improve the relationship by creating clear expectations and responsibilities. Solid boundaries can decrease stress, increase self-esteem, and create comfortable social interactions, which ultimately are going to allow you to show up in a relationship. Setting boundaries is a form of self-care and is also a way of showing care for your partner. There are 6 kinds of boundaries that you must have in order to keep the relationship growing smoothly and healthy. So let's get into it.
Number 1, physical boundaries. Physical boundaries are helpful not only with strangers, but even with the ones that we're close with, including our partners. It helps to define that your body and personal space belongs to you. It also protects your right to not be touched or have privacy and to meet your physical needs such as eating or resting. This boundary can tell your partner how close they can get to you, how much privacy you need, and how you would like them to behave in your personal space. When physical boundary is violated, it feels like you're receiving this physical touch that feels inappropriate or uncomfortable to you, or you feel denied your physical needs like getting food or rest or privacy. For example, if they're refusing to let you go to sleep during an argument, or they're inviting friends over to your place together without permission, those are violations of your physical boundary. This can really vary from small to big things. Here are some examples of what healthy physical boundaries might sound like in your communication. I am really tired. I need to go to sleep now. I need an hour to get ready and feel like we can invite people over to our house. Or, I don't want you to touch me that way.
Number 2, emotional boundaries. Emotional boundaries are the type of boundaries you set to allow you to create emotional safety by considering what you're comfortable sharing with people emotionally. These are things like deciding when and what to share and when to take time for yourself. The boundary could also help you in deciding your capacity for supporting and listening to others. For example, a solid emotional boundary could be not sharing details from your day or experiences with your partner when you don't want to. Everyone has the right to have their feelings respected and the right to share exactly as much as they're comfortable with. Emotional boundaries are all about respecting and honoring feelings and energy. Emotional boundaries protect your right to have your own feelings and thoughts and not to have your feelings criticized or invalidated, and also not being made to feel like you're responsible for your partner's feelings. Some examples could sound like, I don't feel comfortable discussing this, or when I share my feelings with you and get criticized, it makes me totally shut down. I can only share with you if you're able to respond respectfully to me. Or, I'm sorry you're having a tough time. Right now, I'm not in a place to take all of this in. I would love to come back to the conversation later.
Number 3, material boundaries. This boundary relates to your possessions and finances. Everyone has the right to set boundaries around these, but sometimes it is actually hard. Talking about stuff like this with your partner can trigger some stuff for some people, and it could be a sensitive topic, especially money. However, this is going to come up at one point in your relationship, especially if this gets more serious. It could be about how often you want to eat out, or how luxurious your restaurant choice is going to be, or the money you are trying to save for your vacation, or having a joint bank account. Here are some examples of what healthy material boundary could sound like. Please don't borrow my toothbrush without asking. Or, I'm sorry you're having a difficult time paying off your debt, but I cannot lend you any money. Or, I would like to not spend as much money on our dates this weekend.
Number 4, sexual boundaries. Healthy sexual boundaries include things like consent, agreement, respect, and understanding of privacy and preferences, which include where, when, and how. It could also include limitations around sexual comments or moves made by your partner, especially in places like in public or in family gatherings. When it comes to establishing sexual boundaries with your partner, clearly communicate your preferences and expectations regarding your sexual relationship and equally respect those of your partner. It is important to only proceed when there is a definite yes instead of just the absence of a no, So communication is crucial. Some examples of sexual boundaries you could express could be, I don't want to be kissed in front of my family, or I will not be doing things I'm uncomfortable with, or even, tonight I would just like to cuddle and chat.
Number 5, intellectual boundaries. This is also known as mental boundaries. These boundaries are kind of boundary that relates to your thoughts, ideas, and opinions. Sometimes you might not always agree with your partner's opinions, but unless something is hurtful or discriminatory, both you and your partner have the right to share your thoughts, and they can be violated when your thoughts and curiosity are shut down, belittled, or dismissed. As two different individuals, it'd be unrealistic to expect our partner to share or adapt all your expectations. So respectfulness and willingness to different perspectives is the key here. However, if one of you is expressing opinions like racism, sexism, xenophobia, homophobia, things that are harmful, then you have a right to put clear line in that conversation. Here are some examples of healthy intellectual boundaries. I know we disagree, but I won't let you belittle me. Or, I would love to discuss more, but now is not a good time during Thanksgiving family dinner. Or, when we talk about this, we don't get very far. I think it's a good idea to avoid this conversation.
Number 6, time boundaries. Setting boundaries around the amount of time you spend on different things can help prevent burnout, resentment, and protect your mental health. With modern days and how busy life can get, your time is valuable and it's important on how you use it. Having better boundaries with your time can help you lead a more balanced life, which ultimately is key to building a healthy relationship. So the first thing you need to do is understand your priorities and set aside enough time for each area without overwhelming yourself. When you understand your priorities, it's much easier to limit the amount of time to each activity or people that aren't as important to you. Also, for the relationship, consider the fact that it's been proven that it keeps the relationship happier and healthier to have some alone time or spend time with friends or family, just not with your partner all the time. That being said, you need to make sure you put thoughts and effort into spending quality time when you are with each other and have that regular time where you're just committed to each other. Some examples of time boundaries and how they could sound would be, I can only stay for an hour before I have to leave. Or, I'm hanging out with my family this weekend, so I can't come to your friend's party. Or, I would love to help, but I would be overcommitting myself. Is there another time?
If you want to know what boundaries you need to work on, one way to identify is think of the area in your relationship where you're experiencing problems. Ask yourself, is there a topic that you keep fighting about? Or do you feel uncomfortable in certain settings or situations? Or do you feel resentful of something that your partner didn't do, or that you do to meet your partner's need? The answers to each of these questions will tell you where you're lacking with boundaries. Once you identify the kind of boundary you need to work on, make your needs and preferences clear, and have a plan of how to follow through with it. So that means it could be communicating with your partner, as well as how to pull yourself back from a situation when those boundaries are violated. We really recommend you to write this down so it is easier for you to remember and hold yourself accountable. Once you're able to communicate about your boundaries more directly to your partner, it helps preventing miscommunication, misunderstandings, and resentment. Healthy boundaries not only protect ourselves, but also enable you to protect the relationship. If you found this video helpful, please like and subscribe, and hit that notification bell to stay tuned for more tips for happier and healthier relationships. See you next time.